Yo, what up? It's DOENUT, and you tuning in to all your Illuminati news. And we got a special guest. I am super excited. I don't know if I'm nervous or excited. Whenever I meet authors that I'm very, very much into, I get excited and nervous, but I do this a lot. I'm excited to have Johnny Cirucci with us today over at, would I say Resistance Rising? I know you got multiple.
That's right. Yep. That's the name of the show. Yes, sir.
Resistance.
Now, the one you just print, go back. That one right there. No, that one. Oh, but the next one over. That's a phony site. That's a phony site that mirrors my stuff and asks for donations.
Okay.
So
no one go there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I mean, all they do is they steal my stuff and ask for donations. And I think it's really weird, Alex. I think they're like, trying to mock and attack me. They picked when I was wearing my James Caan cowboy hat.
Yes,
but it's really odd because they don't really hack my stuff up, so it's kind of a weird combination, mocking homage at the same time. And so
right, yeah, because your branding, I would say, like your artwork, which goes into symbols. Symbols is what I'm obsessed with. I feel like I really am passionate about that. Having the Jesuit sun logo with the 32 spokes on the back of it and Illuminati. But I got all your links down below. The Twitter, make sure to go to the Twitter, the website, check out these books. Yeah, would you like to say anything before we get into the show? Because I have
sure.
questions to ask.
So real quick, especially if we're only going to go for an hour, a little bit over an hour, is look, born and raised Italian Roman Catholic, and right-minded values, which put me into the military, and also a proud underachiever. So I had all these brilliant, I had the aptitude. I had a congressional, a congressional nomination to the Naval Academy. And it just never panned out. And so I ended up doing ROTC and walked out of college, just because I just wasn't focused and had, like I said, had the aptitude, but I was underachiever and had all this brilliant, I'm going to go to the Marine Corps and fighter jets and special forces and all that, tanks and you name it, whatever romanticized, I wanted to do it. And some of it I did and failed at, or just never really. The bottom line is it pleased the Lord to have me go into the military and do basically 20 years and be absolutely miserable as a result of my 20 years. And it helped me to be disenfranchised and ask questions, and especially with that right-minded values. And I knew that there was something going on with my heritage of being ethnically Catholic, and that's like, Irish Catholic, Polish Catholic, Italian Catholic, Hispanic Catholic. That's just like a culture. It's more of a culture than a religion, and it's an enslavement, a way of life. And as I'm on the downside of these failures, on January 16th, 1994, I went into a non-denominational Christian church and became a born-again Christian. Totally changed my life. And that was the upside. And a lot of these failures, walked out of college, walked out of Marine Corps boot camp, and was blessed to go and return and do them all a second time. Go back to college, go back to the University of New Mexico and get a degree, which I never used. It was an absolute waste of time. That's what all higher education is a complete waste of time. It's actually a trap. It's not just a waste of time. Was blessed to return to the Marine Corps, and go through. The first time around, I was in MCRD San Diego, where I failed out, flunked out. Second time around, 7 years later, I went back as basically an old man and was blessed to graduate with honors at Paris Island. It was at 9/11. Alex, is 9/11, and I haven't really told this. I've told my bio background all the time. I haven't told this. It was at 9/11 when I was IRR, is inactive ready reserve in the Marine Corps. I was IRR in the Marine Corps. And I called up my old unit, and I called up recruiters, and I said, hey, man, I'm IRR. Bring me back. Let's go. We're at war. And they're like, we don't need you. You're old. We don't need you. I said, okay, I got my degree. I'm a Marine. I was a Marine NCO. I was a corporal. I left as a corporal, okay, a non-commissioned officer. That's the saber across the top. And I've got my degree. You got nothing. You don't have to do nothing. No, you're old. You're probably going to get broken at the basic school. We don't need you. Are you kidding me? And it was from there that I went to the Army and went to Officer Candidate School, Fort Benning, Georgia, and started an absolutely miserable career of being unfulfilled in the military. And like I said, some of the stuff I was able to do, I went to Special Forces pre-selection, and that was it's a kind of grueling 3-week to see if, okay, are you ready? Selection, pre-selection. Are you ready for selection? No, you need to do pre-selection. And here's the crazy thing. I've never been an athletic badass, and yet I am very proud to say I never failed an event. And they still said, come back later. And I am convinced, Alex, that combined with just a brilliant young man, he was a machine who was also born again and was my friend during pre-selection. Both of us got passed by. And I am convinced, Alex, everybody in the audience, and listen to me, this is what they do. It's not just being peak physical fitness that they want you for in these operations as operators, whether it's CIA or Joint Terror Task Force, FBI, Special Forces. They want you to have flaws, Alex. They want you to have flaws that they can exploit. Do you know one of the things they told me before they said thanks, but no thanks? Too gung-ho. What the? Are you kidding me? I would think that's what you want. No. They don't want romantic ideologues. They want people with flaws, people that can be blackmailed, people that can be kind of twisted, kind of maneuvered into doing, people who are peak condition, but still maneuverable, people that they can manipulate. And it was very bitter for me. And so that really helped me being bitter on the way. And I was so bitter that I actually jumped out of the military. It was obvious to me, and the people let me call me Cap. It's actually because I was so bitter about being in an 04, a major's billet. And it was obvious to me that my chain of command was not going to promote me. I was a captain doing a major's job, and that promotions are coming and going. And it's clear that they were stagnating me. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out of here. And I still had a couple of years to go to full up my points, get the full number of points for a full retirement. And I was kind of foolish. I kind of shot myself in the foot. I had 20 years between the Marine Corps, the Army, the active duty, the Guard, the Reserve, all that. I had 20 years, but according to them, I didn't rate a fault. But I said, I'm done. So I could chewed my own foot off to get out of the trap. I'm absolutely done with the military. And the blessing of that is, Alex, is it had me asking questions. I was asking questions as even back in the 90s when I lovingly call it conservatard, because right-minded values, it was obvious to me that the lamestream media, hard left, no exceptions. And to this day, Alex, movies, entertainment, video games, music, news, everything is hard left. Why is that? It's because that in the paradigm, the left is a much better position for tyranny and slavery and control. The true right, there is no such thing as far right. That's just a slander that the far left uses. There's really no such thing as far right. There's phony right and there's real right. And I like to consider myself real right. There's phony right, such as the Republican Party. The Republican Party is phony right. Donald Trump is phony right. General Flynn, his first name is General. It's actually in legal documents. It's not Michael Thomas Flynn. It's General Flynn. That's his first real name. And even though the son of a gun is retired, and all of you magatards, I say with loving anger, are you kidding me? General Flynn was a 4-star that was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and he had the nerve to go out and play the pedocracy game as an October surprise and say, oh, only Hillary and her Jesuit, John Podesta. And I say Jesuit really kind of lowercase j or uppercase. Uppercase j is an ordained Jesuit. Lowercase j is an unordained Jesuit. What do they call them? Short robe Jesuit is a lay Jesuit, someone who's never been necessarily ordained, but very powerful. I call him demon, I call him cockroach, and I also call him Jesuit. But to my knowledge, he's never been ordained. He might as well have been, because he did so much harm for the machine. So listen, you guys got to wake up. This is my wake up process. And I kept hearing how did I get on the scene of journalism? All the way back in my college days, I was doing journalism, I was doing blogging. I had written columns for the university newspaper, and with a conservatard. So I call conservatard someone with right-minded values, but who is not necessarily awake or courageous enough to accept the truth because it scares them. It rocks their boat. So that's what we have. And today, conservatard is kind of like blue pill. Today we have purple pills. We have magatards. We have Q-tards, who unbelievably accept the idea that the government manages the of drugs and women and children, and then they still say the government is going to rescue us. What? How stupid are you? Oh, Donald Trump, yay, he's our man. If he can't do it, JD Vance can. JD, he's in Rome. If he can't do it, the Romans can. Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, please wake up. And this is, what is it, normalcy bias, Alex? You know, it's normalcy bias where you're so afraid of the full truth, you close it off. Yeah, Paydos. Yeah, Sound of Freedom. Jim, Roman Catholic Caviezel, and these Mexican guys, these Roman Catholic Mexican movie makers. They're going to, we don't have to do anything for the children. Well, they're getting, and I talk about Craig Sawyer all the time with his Veterans for Child Rescue that I tried to join, and I had conflict with Craig, and to this day I continue to, Craig, join the dark side. Craig, I know that you've been blackmailed, brother. I know they have things on you. You are the perfect guy to turn on them, but I think he's too afraid. I think they have too much on him. He's been accused by David Scherter and Adrian John Wells of being involved as their abusers, and that's just really, really hard, as abusing young and so forth. It's never too late, man. It's never too late. You just say, I'm born again in Jesus Christ. That is the evil that I was then, and now I'm turning over a new leaf. But anyway, this is just my wake-up call when I was in journalism as a hobby, journalism on the side as a hobby, Alex, and so I was ready for it. And one of the things that got me ready, Alex, was constantly defending myself. Just being conservatard when I was younger and going through these hard left institutions, high school and college. Actually, high school was a Catholic high school. Oh, I can't even tell you. And that's part of Jesudu, is being controlled, not controlled, but indoctrinated by Catholic schools, by Jesuit schools. What's more important? You look at a guy, and I'm sorry for shotgunning all over the place, but it's all related. So who's in the spotlight? Jews like Josh Shapiro, who supposedly now, after rising to run the People's Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, aka Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro is now testing the waters to run for president. What? Who? Josh Shapiro. Oh, he's Jewish and a lawyer. So, of course, why not? Well, who trained him in ambulance chasing? You know who trained him in ambulance chasing? The Jesuit institution of Georgetown. You go look at the alumni list of Georgetown University, the massive list of Georgetown, and then go look at the list of just one school within the university. Father Edmund Walsh School of Foreign Service. That was John Carroll, the Jesuit that founded Georgetown, and his brother, Charles Carroll of Carrollton, the richest man in America at the time, basically bankrolled the revolution, was personally responsible for the revolution's success. Their cousin Daniel Carroll, signed 5 different founding documents. So the Roman Catholic Carroll family are responsible for the revolution, in large part responsible for the revolution, and Georgetown is the seat of authority. So who's more important? Josh, and what was Josh Shapiro before he was governor of Pennsylvania? He was the top cop. And he showed himself willing to commit crimes on behalf of the Jesuit CIA bureaucracy machine by having a big show, a dog and pony show, as we say in the military, of investigating systemic ritual abuse. Now, pause real quick. Don't bring me back to Shapiro, and then bring me back to Johnny Cirucci bio, and then bring me back to why the heck I'm here. All these rabbit trails. Here's Alex with his lighter. Hey, dude, come back, Johnny, come back.
No, continue, please.
Real quick. So,
notes.
Okay, systemic, not just 1 or 2, not 6%. Systemic of children. Which organization gets away with it with the help of secular government institutions? Is it the Jews? Freemasons, yeah, to some degree. Knights of the Catholic Church, Knights of Malta, yes, they get away with it. Nobody gets away with it like the Roman Catholic Church. No one gets away with mass of children like the Roman Catholic Church. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein, don't even start. That's a whole show. That's like 2 or 3 shows, Jeffrey Epstein. How is it Jeffrey Epstein is a household name? Because he's Jeffrey Epstein. Because the name is Epstein. Because you can associate, for the first time, we're going to associate, we've never heard of all the child scandals have gone before this. We've never heard of Omaha, Nebraska, which is the so-called Franklin cover-up, right? Why was it the Franklin cover-up? Because the once and future monk named John DeCamp, who worked for the CIA, was part of Operation Phoenix in Vietnam, John DeCamp was the aide de camp for the Saigon station chief, William Colby. I always mix up Colby and Casey. William Colby. And they're both, guess what? Colby and Casey are, guess what? Both Roman Catholic. The warrior priest. I think they're both called warrior priests. The Roman Catholic station chief in Saigon that was behind the Phoenix Project, and his aide de camp was John DeCamp. And John DeCamp said, hey, the leader of the Inquisition, the Inquisition? No, the prefect for the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith. That's what the Inquisition is today. The Inquisition never got disbanded. The Inquisition works today, and the actual torture goes on through the CIA and the American government, who works on behalf of Rome. He said, oh, yeah, the prefect for the Congregation of Doctrine of the Faith at that time, Joseph Ratzinger. Joseph Ratzinger called me in. I had a personal audience with Joseph Ratzinger when he was Cardinal at Ratzinger. Then I had another audience with him when he was Pope Benedict Cumberbatch. No, Benedict 16th. Says John DeCamp. Wow, that's amazing access for a guy who was no more than a local politician in Omaha, Nebraska. How is that? He brought me in and said, listen, we need to put a lid on this little boys out of Franklin Federal Credit Union. No, the Lawrence King. What did the Federal Credit Union have to do with the of boys? Nothing. It's where Larry King worked and embezzled money, and he was arrested for. No, he was arrested for embezzling money, because you don't steal from the machine. They wanted him. The boys were coming out of Boys Town, the Roman Catholic orphanage. It was an orphanage that was such a hellhole that when a secular judge gave the nod and the wink for a Roman Catholic chaplain priest to pull Charlie Manson out of his boys' home and send him to Boys Town, within 2 weeks, Charlie ran away because he was so terrified by what he saw at Boys Town. Okay? So yeah, cute kid. Oh, you're pretty. We got plans for you. We're going to dole you out to some Republicans. We're going to dole you out to Bob Dole. This is the hidden underbelly. And why was I talking about this? Talking about right-wing values. I was talking about how it is the left. It's always easier from the left. Poor Manson, thrown away for 1 million years because of what he knows. Okay. How many people did Charlie Manson kill that he's in the prison for 1 million years? Illuminati 0. I always do it the silly way, just in case somebody wants to take a screenshot. Illuminati 0. That's how many people Charlie Manson. No, what? Like the 2 Roman Catholic girls that did the cutting and the shooting and the slicing, Winkelstein and all that. I forget the names. The devout Roman Catholic girls that were in the Manson family. Okay, that's also ignored. Roman Polanski, right? The Jew that and his girlfriend, she was Roman Catholic, the one that was murdered, the pregnant girl that was murdered. Okay. Roman Polanski. Anyway, this is the soft underbelly. Why it's easier to tyrannize and enslave from the left, because the left is enticed. If it feels good, do it. Whereas the right is live for something bigger than you. Have responsibility. Care about your spouse. Care about your family. Care about your faith. Care about things. Work hard. By the sweat of your brow shall you eat bread. Okay, so it is the right is the target. The right is the target. That's why we don't have left versus right's the same thing. No, they're radically different. It's Republican versus Democrat. It's the same thing. It is the uniparty. That's why it doesn't matter who's in charge. They all push hard left. They'll tap the brakes when they're a phony Republican. They'll tap the brakes every once in a while, and then they'll lurch forward with a massive false for the phony Skull and Bones Bush 41, Skull and Bones Bush 41, and then Skull and Bones Bush 43. It was 9/11. For the big orange phallus, Donald Trump, it's the big show that was from 2020 until, and by the way, the World Health Organization, born on April 7th. What a coincidence the World Health Organization would have this shared birthday with Francis Xavier, the co-founder of the Jesuits, the guy for whom so many Catholic families give their little boys the androgynous name of first or middle name Francis. Oh, the Catholics do love to clone themselves, junior, senior, number 2, number 3, number 4, and they do love to give their little boys the androgynous name of Francis to commemorate the Jesuits. Yeah, World Economic Forum, that is just a middle, that's a front. Let's hate this. Let's hate, what is Blofeld? Let's hate Blofeld over there. He's look at all the harm that he's doing. $1 million. Please. The guy is a fraud. Oh, by the way, put on the map, what gave this guy his ideology was a Roman Catholic priest in South America. If you want me, I can look up the name of the Roman Catholic priest. That's why he's in the spotlight. So I'm learning all this as I'm going, Alex, and I'm saying, why is nobody talking about this? And I tell the story about my first book. Everybody's saying Illuminati, deep state, globalists. As a military guy, it's obvious that that's telling me nothing. You want me to go win a war? Hey, Johnny, go the globalists. Go win the war against the deep state. Go get the Illuminati. What is that? Who is that? How am I supposed to know? Names, places, and dates. I need exact, precise intelligence so I know where the strengths and weaknesses of my enemies are and where they are and how they're operating. What's their standard operating procedure? What's their most dangerous course of action? What's their most probable course of action? None of this crap you're throwing out there tells me a damn thing by design. By design, Alex. How are you going to go after the satanic ritual abusers? How are you going to go after the globalists? Alex Jones all the time, Bill Hicks. The globalists. Let's go after the globalists. Let's go after the deep state. Let's go after the Illuminati. So I'm looking, and finally I get a name. I get some data. Johann Adam Weishaupt. And I look a little deeper, and I see the word Jesuit, and I see ordained Jesuit, and I see that little Johann Adam Weishaupt was given by his parents to the Jesuits starting at age 7. And that is what Francis Xavier said. Give me the child. Actually, Xavier said, give me the child until he's 7. But it's the same concept. Give me the child until he's 7, and I will give you the man. Oh, do they ever? Real quick. So when I see someone who's trained by a Catholic school, by a Jesuit school, it is a grip that the Catholic Church has on them. It manipulates them. And if there's nothing stronger to overpower that, it's a grip they keep for the rest of their lives. Doesn't matter if they're practicing Catholic or not. If they go through a Catholic school or more a Jesuit school, the beast of Babylon considers them theirs. I always use the example of Cynthia McKinney. Her parents were good Protestants, and I forget what sect they were. It might have been Pentecostal. No, I think it was Denzel Washington's parents were Pentecostal and still sent him to Jesuit Fordham. And Cynthia McKinney went to a Roman Catholic high school. And did it change her life, Alex? Changed her life. She decided she was going to become a nun, and then she backed off a little bit and instead just became a very devout Roman Catholic. Cynthia McKinney, kind of a pretty relatively honest, but still a libtard, still a demon rat. Held a congressional seat for a very short time, and they allowed her to make a big show out of DINECORP women and children. Well, those are bid players. They're expendable. She was allowed to do that. She was still too honest and too dangerous to be left in office. They booted her out very quickly, even though they love, black Catholics, female black Catholics. Oh, that will make you go far. But unfortunately, she's a little bit too honest, so they yanked her, pulled her out. The real players, DINECORP versus what? The absolutely archetypal war profiteers are who? Blackwater, right? Blackwater and Eric Prince. How is it that they seem to be Teflon, even with, what did he have to do? They had congressional hearings on Blackwater crimes. Black war cowboys shooting up whole towns, mass murdering Iraqis simply because Iraqis are dumbasses. I was there. They are dumbasses. They drive like psychos no matter how many guns you point at their face. And we were trying to figure out ways putting tennis balls in our 40 millimeter grenade launchers because they weren't terrorists. They were just driving crazy. But with a bunch of cowboys, pull triggers first and ask questions later. How is it that Eric Prince repeatedly got put in the spotlight for these tactics and it just bounced off of him? What religion is Eric Prince? Is he Jewish? Oh, wait. No, he is a very devout Roman Catholic. And by the way, his sister was in the previous Donald Trump 1.0 administration. I don't know if he brought her back, but another very wealthy Roman Catholic family has been brought in. Linda McMahon, who is Vince's wife, is in his administration now. Oh, talk about Irish mafia crime syndicate boss. And just the unbelievable Vince McMahon, dude, he himself went on a civil trial and of course, nothing's happening from that. No criminal proceedings in him whatsoever because he's a machine. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Is he Jewish? Let me look. No, he is Roman Catholic, and he is just like a billionaire, and conducting crimes. WWF and WWE guys involved in drug and assassination, and that's oh my goodness, what is his name? Blackjack Haynes. Blackjack Haynes tried to come out, and then suddenly Blackjack Haynes shoots and kills his own wife, right? And meanwhile, he's saying he was involved in drug and bodyguard and assassination stuff. And so this is how you have these guys. Dana White over Mr. MMA. Dana White, a now atheist, born and raised Roman Catholic. Joe Rogan, born and raised Roman Catholic. So anyway, I'm finding all this stuff up. This was the genesis of my first book. And Alex, this is what has spurred me on. Nobody is talking this. And so in relation to what they are talking today, that you and I were talking offline, poor Alex, let me pause for a second. Do you need to jump in, Bob? I'm so sorry.
No, please continue.
Okay,
I got a ton. I'm taking notes to add on to what
I'm sorry for totally monopolizing your interview, brother. I love you, and I appreciate you letting me go off. This is what I do, okay? So what are they talking about now? It's Jews. And Alex, you've been in touch with Danny. I tried to get in touch with Danny Polachuk. I need a real guy. I think there's some Israeli college students. I think there were some Israeli college students that did beheading outtakes. Hilarious video I put up on my show. I wish I could find those guys. I want to redo the Monty Python spam skit and change instead of spam, it's Jews, and have Jews. When I don't like Jews, I don't want Jews. Hilarious, because that's what we have right there. And honestly, there's a side of this that is not funny. That the constant baiting of Jews by really big names, everybody from Stu Peters to Candace Owens. What religion is Candace Owens? I'll think about it. She's Jewish? No, she's a Roman Catholic convert, married a wealthy white Briton aristocrat whose family is part of the elite. And so the very long list, even Roman Catholic comedians like Jimmy Dore, they're not as vicious on their baiting, but they are constantly Israel, Jews, Zionists, Jews, Israel, poor Palestinians, constant baiting, Jew baiting. What is this going to do? Now pause back. Let's ask some intuitive questions, Alex. An intuitive question. If I rule the world from behind the scenes, and I have stolen all the wealth. I've stolen all the intelligence. I created the internet. I've created Google, and I made Google my birthday, September 27th. Look it up, folks. September 27th, the birthday of the Jews? No, the birthday of the Jesuits is Google, okay? There are people to this day that still say, oh, Google that. Google that. Google is not a verb. I want to smack them. There's no such thing as Google as a verb, okay? If I owned everything, what was my first course of action? My first course of action is to your browser looks like mine with 50 tabs open. I have so much work today. I have so much stuff going on, brother. Go ahead. Yeah, don't crash your internet, your browser.
Okay.
So if I control it all, Alex, and I have all the power, I have all the money, I have all the technology, what is my first most immediate course of action? To disappear myself. to disappear myself and to erase my bloody fingerprints from the crime scene. You go on the internet, you ask Twitter, oh, Elon Musk, don't stop. Okay, there's no such thing as an Elon Musk. If I had the money, I would sue Elon Musk just to say your name is not a legal entity, okay? You are a front for a massive intelligence operation. Please. Oh, Elon shot a car into space on a phallus rocket. Please, are you kidding me? The poor guy is a shill and a front. He's just... Anyway, if I had the power, the first thing I would do is I would erase myself. You ask the internet, who rules from behind? Oh, Rothschild, Red Shield. Who carried the Red Shield in the battle on behalf of the Romans? Right? They are the guardians of the Vatican treasury. Says the Encyclopedia Judaica. Says an excellent source. And wait. Go big picture. What is he wearing? He is wearing a Maltese cross. This is an award for a Knight of the Catholic Church. Okay? The Knights of Malta. This is a Knight of the Catholic Church. He serves Rome, and Rome needed Jews to be their bankers. Or you have the Starburst, or you have a Maltese cross. The Rome needed Jewish bankers in order to oh, brilliant. Go back. How did you know that? You're zooming in on his watch with him. Oh, I need that.
Yeah. Well,
a Knight of the Catholic Church. Hey, Alex, if you find the picture of Epstein, Jeffrey, and Ghislaine bowing before Pope St. John Paul II that he kept in his Manhattan apartment that got cleaned out when all the lights went out. He was very proud of that picture of kneeling before the Pope with Ghislaine.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. A Knight of the Catholic Church. He is the household name because it's Jewish. There were no triggers before. And poor Prince Andrew, I don't know what that guy has done to piss off the machine, but he has been repeatedly targeted for whatever it is that he I like to joke with my teammates and my audience. He probably had a conversation saying one day, and I can't do a British accent very well. I just throw it. I wonder if this thing that we're doing is really the right way to go. And then I wonder if maybe we should go a different way. I wonder if we should less people. I wonder if we should starve less. Boom, right there in the spotlight. Not that he's clean, not that he's a good guy, but he is in question. He is not as devoted to Satan as all the other groups, as all the other members of the group. And boom, the only one that ever took teenage girls from Epstein was Prince Andrew. Hey, don't even get me started on the tie-in with the sun god and the sun worship and Mary, the Queen of Heaven, and what we just went through. So let me back out story upon story upon story. This is what I'm finding. This was the genesis of my first book, Illuminati Mass, finding a name, finally finding data to research, and the word Jesuit comes up and nobody else to this day. Oh, I remember now. Back out. We're talking about the big picture. What would you do? You would first hide yourself, and then you would what? You would jam patsies, expendable patsies, up into the spotlight. Is that not what we are seeing? Is that not what we are seeing over and over again? And here's what upsets me, Alex. It's not something that's not funny, is that all of this Jew baiting is going to get good, innocent Jews hurt. People that have, listen, I'm all for it. You want to rein in the Rothschilds? You want to go into the Rothschilds? You want to take the go get them. Go get them. You know what? You won't. They live in they have armies of security. They have all the best. You want to go after George Soros? As a quick aside, how is it George Soros is the most evil billionaire in the world? What did he do? In World War II, he was a teenager. He was went around by a Catholic family member pretending to be the member of that Catholic family. And Jews who were arrested by the Gestapo. This Catholic family member was confiscating the Jewish property, and little George Soros was helping him. And little George Soros told 60 Minutes, I've got the clip. It was the happiest time of my life. Jews. And so listen, I am not a Holocaust denier, as Al Gore would call me, a denier. You're a global warming denier. No, what has clearly happened from my research is they absolutely needed some sort of powerful negative impetus to push Jews towards creating a phony new homeland, Israel. And so there absolutely was a mass torture, slaughter effort. The numbers are completely messed up on purpose. So as soon as you see messed up numbers, you go to the opposite extreme and say, oh, messed up numbers, it never happened. Whoa. Just because the numbers are messed up doesn't mean it never happened. It means the numbers are messed up. Okay, let's be a real journalist here. Can we pull our emotions out of this? So George Soros, happiest time of my life. Happiest time of my life. Confiscating property from my brother Jews who were arrested by the Jesuit Nazis. Everything happened in Munich. The Roman Catholic, the Jesuit base of operations for the Third Reich. Eugenio Pacelli was the papal nuncio to Austria and Germany in the critical pre-war years. All kinds of pictures. Oh my goodness, yes. All kinds of pictures. Oh, Franz von Papen, the Roman Catholic that bankrolled the Third Reich. How did you pull that up? Brilliant. Okay. Who was responsible? Go to the highest order. Pause. Go to the highest award of Germany. I'm just getting a chill. The highest award of Germany is the Knight's Cross, the Iron Cross. The highest. What does that look like? What does the Nazi Iron Cross look like? Pull it up.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Take your time, because you've got like a gazillion tabs open.
Yeah.
What is the highest award? Wait a minute. What is the picture? I'll tell you. You don't have to pull it up. I'll tell you. What is the insignia of the Nazi military that they carried over into this day? A Maltese cross. A Maltese cross. Adolf Hitler was a puppet. He absolutely addressed some very real issues of Germany being brutalized and crushed. And yes, there were banker cartels, and their banker cartels being managed. There it is. The highest award for bravery in Nazi Germany, the Iron Maltese Cross. The Maltese Cross. Germany. Operation Barbarossa, Redbeard, named after a Holy Roman Emperor, to where Hitler was convinced to go and sacrifice his army into Russia. When Napoleon Bonaparte, the Italian Roman Catholic Freemason, was convinced to do the same thing not 100 years earlier, and nobody said, wait a minute, Napoleon Bonaparte suicided his army on the steppes of Russia. Why are we doing the same thing? That's because his Jesuit handlers told him to. Who is it? Oh my goodness. Look up, you have to do this now. Tell the audience. Templar Freemasonry, which is older? Templar Freemasonry. The Freemasons that proudly path their roots through the Knights of the Roman Catholic Church. Templar, I think Wild Bill Cody was a Templar Freemason. Okay? So this is all, the two knights, the double faces of the Templars, one face towards the initiated and one face towards the uninitiated. They are secret keepers. They created Freemasonry, Albert Mackey, the historian of the Freemasons, openly admits that Freemasonry got their degrees from the Jesuits and not Cologne, Jesuit University. I have it in my notes. Albert Mackey, okay, the official Freemason. What's his name? Blavatsky. Blavatsky will happily tell you that the Jesuits owned Freemasonry. Okay, so this is all that's going on. This is the paradigm that's going on today. You look up, you've never heard of names. You'll get, once in a while, you get the so-called black nobility.
Right.
Everybody's heard of Rothschild, but nobody's heard of De Medici, Aldo Brandini, Orsini, Colonna, Breakspear. Excuse me, nobody's heard of them. And even then, they'll put out some foolishness about a gray pope as opposed to the white pope and the invisible black pope. Who is the black pope? The black pope is the superior general. And like we're just talking with my friends Jesse Trenadu and Tanya Dunn about the abomination that was the Oklahoma City on April 19th. Why was it on April 19th? It honors Ignatius of Loyola in becoming the first superior general on April 19th, 1541. That's what the April 19th runs. The Gulf debacle, BP Gulf debacle, all the things that have happened on or about April 19th. They honor what was an honor for me to have on Jesse and Tanya together to talk about Oklahoma City. Jesse's brother, Ken Trenadu, was tortured and murdered by the FBI to maintain the ridiculous idea that Timothy McVeigh, trained by the Catholic Church at the St. Pius X Foundation in St. Mary's, Kansas, and Tanya Dunn, who was the widow of Terry Yakey. Terry Yakey was an unfortunate, ethical, moral policeman who was pulling people out after the went off, after they demolished the Murrah building. He was pulling people out and seeing things he wasn't supposed to see. He was seeing signs of the building being pre-wired, which exactly, absolutely it was. He started to conduct his own chain of command. And I got this from the late Cody Snodgrass, CIA whistleblower and former assassin, that the Oklahoma City Police Department was dirty. And the FBI had on them that they were trafficking drugs. Not all of them, but the key ones, like good old Sam Gonzalez, the chief of police. It was Sam Gonzalez that threatened Tanya Yakey, threatened her, said, "Hey, listen, you better keep your mouth shut. You and your husband better keep your mouth shut, or else." Got up out of his desk to physically threaten her. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? So, Sam Gonzalez, I guarantee you that. Go ahead.
No, great episode. I highly recommend everybody check it out. I have that link down below. I shared it out. Very creepy, the story of her husband and how they put it in the hospital, and he's like, "Get me out of here," leaving it. Sort of the same thing that Tupac went through.
He hurt himself. He hurt himself rescuing people, and they put him in a hospital, addressed him, and he was so scared, Alex. He was so scared by what he saw in the Murrah building. He said, "Get me out of here. Get me out of here, because they're going to come kill me." And eventually they did. They tortured him and killed him. They waited. They listened in on all of his communication. They waited for him to tell his friend that he's got to drop off some more docs. He was conducting his own investigation because the Oklahoma City Police Department was completely corrupt. They were blackmailed by the FBI because they were trafficking drugs. Like I said, not all of them. There were a lot of good people there, but the key leadership personnel were corrupt, were dirty. Sam Gonzalez and other leadership personnel. He conducted his own investigation, compiled files, and they all got disappeared. They waited until he was on his way to his stash location, and when he foolishly had a telephone communication with his friend that he was on his way to do that, that's when they swooped in, tortured him, murdered him. And the autopsy report clearly that the bullet that ended his life at an angle from the back of his head. Gary Webb fell on a knife 14 times. The brave San Jose Mercury News reporter that first broke the story of the CIA trafficking in drugs. You believe that they want you to, they want you to believe that poor Gary Webb shot himself in the face twice. No, they want you to know that his death, and August 31st, I got to look up the feast of August 31st, very similar to July 31st is the feast of Ignatius Loyola.
Oh, wow. Yeah, everything's on a date,
Oh my goodness, the date perspectives. Huge.
Even today with the Pope passing away at 88, which goes into the HH, but Klaus Schwab stepping down at 88 today as well. Just like you had a Pope visit the 9/11 ground zero on 4/20, right, on Hitler's birthday, and then you have the Pope dying on today's 4/21, but it was 4/20 when he passed away when we're here in America. So we have different assassinations of Pope, like an attempt at 33 days into the election as he enters the square. We're showing all this the squares, right? The black and white. Everyone calls them Freemasonic checkerboards. that's the intro.
And I'll tell you why. Pause. Don't lose your thought, Alex. Don't lose your thought, because it's was it Isaiah 3 or Isaiah 5? Woe to those who exchange dark for light and light for darkness. They are the ultimate gaslighters who flip evil for good and good for evil. Their God is Lucifer, the light bearer, Prometheus. All he wanted to do was give us knowledge and light, and he was punished by the gods. Keep going. I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, well, just on my channel since day one, I've been really focused on the Templars and these checkerboard, right? The chessboard goes back to the cis.
Is that Conor McGregor and Tucker Carlson? Who is that?
Yes, that's Conor McGregor and
Conor McGregor and Tucker Carlson in front of a white checkerboard. And where are they? Are they Masonic Lodge?
Yes, the Grand Lodge of Ireland. So the whole Templar.
Are you kidding me?
This just happened over the weekend. They did this as everyone's a fighter. Well, who else is a fighter? You know, this is why they have Andrew Tate and all these different people accelerating the culture, is because it's the Templars, right? They're warrior monks. And here's just some other pictures of the inside that Masonic Lodge where you have the IHS right there, but the checkerboard floor, which all Freemasonry going back to the Knights of Malta, they still sit at the UN, and it's definitely connected to the crown as well. That's why I had that crown here in the beginning, because that's what
look at all the Catholic symbology in the crown. The fleur de lis, which is pagan symbol of sex, the union of the genitals, as well as the Maltese cross, all in St. Edward's crown. Who owns St. Edward's crown? Not the royals, the Roman Catholic Church. John Longshanks in 1213 gave the crown to the papal legate for Innocent the 13th, and it has been owned by the Catholic Church ever since then. Keep going.
Well, so this is symbolism going back to I'm saying it wrong, Cistercians.
Yeah.
And this is who created the Templars. So the Templars used this chessboard. They created banking. So banking and all that. Bernard.
Oh, say that again. Say that again. They from the Cistercians to the Templars, and the Templars created banking. No, I thought the Jews created banking. No. The Jews were given banking so that they could be the patsies. It was the Templars that created banking. This is commonly, if there is an honest historian, they will admit to you that is the Templars through pilgrimages of the Catholic Church, safeguarding the goods, safeguarding the wealth of Roman Catholic pilgrimages that have nothing to do with being Christian. The Templars created usury, period.
Yes. And this is why it's so, when I found your channel through Danny and then Mark and all that, it was a breath of fresh air, because, you know, no one wants to hear the bigger story. Not that there's not a managerial class, right, of Jews that are doing stuff. But when you look at a population, like obviously, like my friends are Catholic, family members Catholic and all that, they're not part of, but I'm Jewish, right? So like this is a 0.001% of society, and these orders and secret societies, that's even smaller. That's a 0.00001, and it's all connected to the different bloodlines. I get to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, but then I'll get a breath of fresh air from great researchers. We're looking at the bigger picture of stuff, looking back. Then I kind of get a little like, oh, okay, I'll continue, because this is crazy. I got a ton of different slides, a ton of different topics, a ton of different people I want to talk about. But something that I like about you, kind of off topic, is when I look at you, because I've been binge watching your channel, you always have like discipline, I would say. And thank you for your service. I also wanted to say thank you for your service.
Love you, Alex. I wish it were for a better cause. Unfortunately, it was to line the pockets of demons and scum, and it had nothing to do with the freedom. That was my intent, Alex. I went in to protect the freedom of fellow Americans, and I ended up doing the absolute inverse.
Well, this is the thing, is that everything happens for a reason. And God makes us uncomfortable. So if we're in a situation and we're not supposed to do it, God's going to make us so uncomfortable that we're going to move or have to move position. When I started my channel, I had a great job. I mean, I didn't need to start this channel. I just did it because the lockdowns happened, and I oh my goodness, tyranny is happening. So I started doing. That's the only reason why I'm doing my channel, is because, oh my goodness, the tyranny is happening. Wake up! Like, it freaked me
Alex,
out.
thank you for your ethics and your honesty. Too many people out there do programs and lose sight of the truth and walk away from the truth because it's in their personal interest. I am thrilled to be interviewing a scientist, a true polymath, not a Jesuit, a true polymath by the name of Mark Gober. That I highly recommend him. He is phenomenal, and he just strikes me as the same. Someone that has just amazing ethics and is going to go after the truth rather than be swayed by numbers. Like guys like Stu Peters. I honestly, out of nowhere, Stu Peters is suddenly Jews at a breakneck pace. What got into this guy? I think he's being handled. Okay, back to discipline.
Sure. Well, I coined the term Stupider, because I look at etymology. And it's funny because my whole time I've been doing my channel, and I, like, Jewish people don't want to hear anything about the United Nations, the Red Shield, the Rothschild, the left, this ideology of this socialism, communism, fascism. It all just swings to a different mechanism of control. No one wanted to hear.
That's a whole show. Just communism itself on Karl Marx was an absolute puppet. Karl Marx trained by Jesuits. In Trier. Are you kidding me? In a tiny bastion of Catholic city inside Protestant Lutheran Germany. Okay, the Jew trained by Jesuits. Are you kidding me? The name and the face of communism, and it was the Jesuits that created communism through the teachings of Augustine, and it was the Jesuits that fed it to him through an ex-Jesuit. Alberto Rivera is the one that explained how the Jesuits fed him what they had done in the reductionist communist enclaves of the poor Guarani Indians in South America 100 years before. And here he is. He's a secret keeper. He's hidden hand. Why are you a secret keeper? Are you a proud Jew, or are you a fake and a phony that is a member of a secret society? What are your secrets, Karl Marx? Well, those are the secrets. He's not a true Jew that is just the enemy of mankind. He's a puppet. He's a name and a face. Okay. Just like, go ahead.
Well, he wrote, his essay on the Jewish
question. It was handed to him. And granted that this is from a controversial source. Alberto Rivera, ex-Jesuit, said that the precepts of the Communist Manifesto were given to him by Jesuits. Alberto says that he was giving a personal, private briefing by Cardinal Augustine Bay, a Jesuit cardinal, where they bragged about everything from manipulating Islam to creating communism. And I find him extremely believable because it tracks. Listen, Marx communism does not pop out of nowhere. It's an acknowledged historical fact that the Jesuits created communes and subjected natives to these communes in South America, particularly Guarani Indians. Fact, they learned by doing, and then 100 years later, they had it written down, and they gave a Jew the name and the face of their communism. Okay, so
with the hand of the British Empire, I've heard as well.
Oh, talk about Freemasonry. They took over Britain through Freemasonry. They needed to, because Britain was a proud bastion of the Reformation until it was destroyed by the insurgency. They couldn't do it directly because good Britons were on the lookout for Jesuits. So they had to do it incognito with Freemasonry.
Well, also, this is the thing that breaks people's minds. There's so many things that just breaks the whole narrative of blaming the Jewish people. And that's the other thing. So I'm really happy that you bring up the Jewish peril, because the higher ups, the elite, they know the Jews ain't running nothing.
Look up Aldo Brandini marries Rothschild, 1972, 1975. Bingo. You nailed it, Alex. And you also nailed their modus operandi thugs. They are thugs. If you want to win a war, do you round up an entire ethnic group? Is that going to win a war for you? Is that a good tactic? No. That's something that Freemasons do, like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as Americans are taught to flagellate themselves over rounding up Japanese Americans with Japanese descent in World War II. Who really did it? It was Freemason, Roman Catholic, Freemason, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, with a an executive order. With an executive, I'll tell you who it was. With an executive order, did a Freemasonic president round up an entire ethnic group just because? Truly, truly disturbing, not acceptable either from a military perspective or from a legal perspective. No, stop. Up, go back up, right there. David de Rothschild, Olympia, Aldo Brandini. Oh, and why was that allowed? Because the two of them carried which name? The Rothschild name. So we'll have a male Rothschild marry a female black nobility because that disappears her and puts him into the spotlight.
Yeah, I just learned yesterday that even Goebbels was married to a Jewish woman or something. Like, it's just so strange.
He was Catholic. They all do this. They all have arranged marriages. How many Trump children marry Jews? This is by design. Ivanka. Okay, so we can all froth ourselves up over Kretschmer Kushner, right? Oh, the Huffington Post. Huffington Post. Jared Kushner controls the entire drama. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? That guy doesn't control a paper bag. And the Huffington Post want to promote the idea that Jared Kushner secretly runs the Trump administration. It's all about Jew baiting. Yes. Jew baiting. You don't need facts. Go ahead.
And I'm so, it's refreshing.
Oh, pause. But before you go on there, do you see how heavily copyrighted and watermarked that is? They jump in, Alamy and Getty. They all jump in. Anything that might be useful to them, they jump in and they slam the door with copyrights.
Yes. And it's wild. I got a bunch of different slides that I will just like boom, boom, boom kind of go through. A question I had for you, it was on discipline. That's one thing I lack in life. I wasn't in the military. I'm a creative in a sense, so I do have a lot of discipline. I can edit a video 12, 16 hours a day, every single day. So I do have discipline, but when it comes to reality, I lack it. I didn't know if you had any suggestions.
Pause. Yes, absolutely. Love you. Great question. Great question that I would never get anywhere else. It is absolutely critical. So how you do this, how do you take a wonderful creative mind and give it focus? You have to backwards plan. You only have 18 hours in a day. You have to set your priorities, okay? You have to step back, and I still make this mistake to this day. I allow myself to get sidetracked. You have to set your priorities. Here's what I need to accomplish today, and I need to dedicate this much time to getting it done. I know I'm also going to need a break. I cannot stay focused for 5, 6, 7 hours. So I'm going to work on this topic from 9 a.m. to noon. And at noon, I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to see how much I have left. You've got to set parameters for yourself so that you have, and it's not so I had this as a foundation. Yeah, I guess the military kind of helped me to create a way to carry this out. But this is really as a result of your focus. You know what you need to do, and you have to set parameters for yourself and make sure that, and not only this, Alex, but things are going to interfere. Things are going to interfere. So you've got to prioritize and triage on the fly. Something comes in. Okay, I need to stop and put the fire out on my stove before I continue. Put this fire out on my stove and go back. Okay, now I have a new list of things that got thrown at me. Let me take what I just told you right now. You've got 50 tabs open and you've got other things. I was all weekend long. I just published the Oklahoma City this morning because I had 50 tabs open and I said, stop, reprioritize, get this show published and get it out this morning. So it's a matter of triage and priority. And it's also a matter of saving your work, finding ways as you go down a path and say, I would love to finish this work before I start something else, and there's no way for me to do that. So do it in an organized way where you can come back and realize that, okay, it's been like 2 weeks. How do I find my path again? Leave little notes to yourself. Here's something else. When you lose, you will lose things. When you lose things, the very first place that you look and didn't find it, take it and put it there. Take it and put it back. Or take it, for instance, if it's a file, and you know it goes there, put a shortcut of that file to the very first place that you looked. Archiving data is critical, especially when we do stuff like you and I do of trying to convince people of things of they've never heard before. So you need data, names, places, and dates. So it's all about staying organized and prioritized. And you've got a triage. You've got a backwards plan. How much time do I have? And when the Lord throws you a curveball and something blows up, okay, take a breath, reprioritize. What is the new problem? Address this problem. And can I go back to these others? Do I have to save my work? Like I said, take a notepad, put a title, a quick title, and all the links, and then save it and put it on your desktop so you can go right back to where you started.
My dad tells me, like, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, because my uncle tells me I'm taking too big of a bite at the elephant. I gotta do little steps, and
That's part of it too, Alex. That's part of it too. And I get myself overwhelmed with too much information. Yes. Pull back. Here's another important thing. Always pull back to the big picture, not just for your own ability to put a skeleton on it. It's like writing a book. You have a start, you have a skeleton, you have a finish, and you need to just flesh up the skeleton. You don't just pull it out willy-nilly. What is the theme? Your book, your theme is to expose the Illuminati. How are you going to do that? Well, I have a chapter on Weishaupt. I have a chapter on the CIA. I have a chapter on the FBI. Back up. I need a chapter on the American Revolution. How did the American government get started? Flesh it out. Have a start, have an end, and have it so that you've got a skeleton holding it all together. So have your priorities, have your organization, and regularly back out for the big picture. Don't automatically assume, especially with what you're doing as a host. Back out as a host for your audience to give them the big picture, and realize when you're deep in the weeds, that I do all the time, and I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm deep in the weeds. Pause. There are people that have no idea the detail that you're talking about. Pull back out and give them the big picture and give them a reason why. And by the way, I have concerns about people looking up Oklahoma City. I come across names like Chris Emery, who did that fantastic Noble Lie. Fantastic. Chris Emery, Noble Lie, one of the best documentaries on Oklahoma City. What is that guy doing? He's out of Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas, just like Alex Jones, just like Joe Rogan. He does a phenomenal job on a very narrow topic, and kills it, crushes it, and boom, disappears. There's no way. Free Mind Films. Try to contact Free Mind Films. It's defunct. The email is defunct. What is going on? This is how the Jesuits play. They sacrifice pawns to protect the queen. So regularly, a guy like James Corbett, who also comes up and falls flags like Oklahoma City and 9/11, brilliant work on very narrow subjects. Big picture, he's never heard of the Jesuits. I think he is a Jesuit because he's a Canadian living in Japan. How did you get to Japan? Okay. He's kind of a weirdish guy. He's got talks with us. All right. So listen, I'm not casting aspersions, and I'm only partially tongue in cheek. Never talks about the big picture. Never talks about but delivers. Regularly watches work because he's phenomenal on very narrow topics, because it preserves the big picture. So they allow their emissaries to be extremely effective on things they have decided, especially when it's 10 years, 20 years after the fact. Jimmy Savile, devout Roman Catholic. Who was it? Somebody told me that somebody just did a special on Jimmy Savile. Hold on.
And it's after they're dead and years.
Oh, 10 years. 10 years after they're dead, we'll finally find out who Jimmy Savile is. No one will find out that he was a hyper devout Roman Catholic, serial child, with the help of both the Catholic Church. It was Steve. So both the Catholic Church and the British government. Okay. So who was it that just pulled out? It was,
and you said something about him that he knew Latin and he would do evil things while he was speaking in Latin.
Yeah, he would kids while he's praying in Latin.
That's crazy.
Yeah, kids while he's praying in Latin. Hang on, it was Sean Atwood. Sean Atwood, right? I highly suspect there's a Jesuit in Sean's woodpile. So I'm watching. To me, Savile, the number one driving force behind Jimmy Savile is the fact that he was a devout Roman Catholic. He is a knight of the Catholic Church and a knight of the British Empire, and neither entity will strike him from the rolls. And here we are, Prince Andrew again, right? Nobody else is kids other than Prince Andrew. Are you kidding me? Do you all realize that Donald Trump, you magatards, do you all realize that Donald Trump was a repeat visitor alongside Bill Clinton, alongside a very long list of people to Rhode Island on the Lolita Express, right? And how is it that y'all don't think that that's a cause for concern? The sitting, the once and future president? Oh, Donald Trump's going to protect us. Donald Trump's going to round up the... Are you kidding me? Please, go ahead.
Because there's so many things I want to show you that I found, and this is one of them. With Georgetown, did Trump go to Georgetown?
No, Trump went to Fordham. Trump went to the Jesuit University of Fordham for 2 years. And then for some reason, the Jesuits are considered the greatest educators in the world. Wait a minute. Why are you an educator? Why don't you just promote your religion? No. The greatest educators in the world. He went to Fordham and then he left and went to the university, the private University of Pennsylvania. Why would he do the University of Pennsylvania compared to Fordham? Are you kidding me? I think it was by design. I've have it on secondhand information that the premier Jesuit of his day, Dulles. What was the Dulles? It was John Foster Dulles' Avery Dulles. Avery Dulles convinced Cardinal Avery Dulles, who was teaching at Fordham, convinced Donald Trump to leave Fordham because they had control over the private University of Pennsylvania, good old Hellfire Benjamin Franklin, probably from the Freemason Hellfire Benjamin Franklin, probably from the beginning, the founding. Oh, the Al Smith dinner. That's a whole show in and of itself.
How do you have Chuck Schumer with
they hate each other? No, are you kidding me? They hate each other. Democrats and Republicans, they hate each other, right? But they're all having a good time making Timothy the Laugher Dolan laugh. This is their goal. But every year, not just every 4 years, every year, all the puppets in America, their job is to go to the Al Smith dinner and make the Pope of America, the Archbishop of New York. Right now, it's Timothy the Laugher Dolan. You could show, and Dolan would throw his he laughs at absolutely everything. Al Smith was running against, who was Al Smith running against? Herbert Hoover. I want to say Herbert Hoover, running for president, the governor of New York. And oh my goodness, who runs New York? Rockefellers? No, the Roman Catholic Church runs New York through the Rockefellers and through Freemasonry.
It's York. It's the new Roman Empire. The headquarters of the Roman Empire is in York, and it's the new Roman Empire. All roads lead to Rome. And here's something, I'm not sure if you probably have seen this, but I thought it was a good find on my part. Speaking of these different schools and teaching, Donnie Darko, like this bunny and Donnie, I know it's a great film. I saw it when I was like 12 and I was just blown away. But there's always this connection. But that it takes place at Loyola High School. Yeah. Right? Loyola, Ignatius Loyola High School. I don't know if you ever saw that, but I thought.
Oh, brilliant. I will archive that. Look, and across the board, who really runs Hollywood? Oh, it's the Jews. No, the Jews produce for the Jesuits. Who created the motion picture code? The code that allows you to get movies published. A collared Jesuit, Daniel Aloysius Lord, I would say like 1934, created the motion picture code that allows a movie to get published. What are the Jews? What are their roles? Producers. They're not creative minds. They just manage. They manage for Jesuit theater. I've got to commend, after my 5 books, Rulers of Evil, by Frederick Tupper Saucy III, who may have been one of them on the inside, but Rulers of Evil, just an absolute brilliant book, must have. You can get it on Amazon, Leviathan, Amazon for like $666. Fortunately, the PDF is as all over the interstate as my books are. Anyway, Rulers of Evil also talks about how Jesuit theater, how Hollywood, how entertainment is literally Jesuit theater. They created Hollywood, they created plays, they created movies, and they gave it to the Jews to manage in the same way that they did banking.
Would this be it? No.
That is absolutely it. It is a must-have. Get that PDF, download it, and it is must read. Every once in a while, he'll say some weird things like the Jesuits are ordained by God to do what they do. But it's a really fantastic book. He talks about the Rothschilds being the bankers for the Vatican. He talks about how the American Revolution was completely fabricated by the underground Jesuits at that time. and how the Art of War was a Jesuit tome. Go ahead.
Okay, so I guess there's two other things, and then and everybody click the link below, go subscribe to Johnny and get his books. I got his books right here. Make sure to go support it. Right now I'm reading Illuminati Unmasked. I mean, over 800 pages. You say you're an underachiever, but this is absolutely an achievement.
I don't know how to write. I start off the ideal book is between 300 and 450 pages, and my books come out 800 pages at 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 citations. So I don't know how to write, but they are filtered. My goal is to give you the tools to pick up where I left off, or look for yourself.
Well, I got this book that I asked you about that I'm reading, and it's very small, but
Bill Hughes, fantastic. Bill knows how to write a book. That's how to get in and get out. Bill knows how to write a book. God love him.
Yeah, and I was reading that. So I'm reading this book, but even this is so small, and the discipline and the concentration is not easy to even just sit through a short book. So I definitely got ADD from.
It's tough. Twitter. I've sent you my PDFs, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. Okay,
it's going to take me a while to.
It's easier if you have to. It's if you can go cover to cover, great. God bless you. But it's easier if you have to word search. Oh, okay. Did Cirucci talk about this? And word search something. It might be helpful for you that way.
So we'll definitely do a part 2, because I want to go through all these different slides. But Coachella just happened, and in that book, it brought up the Baphomet, and I always try to bring some new type of research and imagery when I see stuff. And the Coachella logo, dang it, I don't know where I put it here. I'll pull it up here in a second. Oh, this is another one. The Maltese cross, like the reason that the Nazis like it so much too is because it makes a swastika as well.
By the way, that came from the Catholic Church. Adolf Hitler was going to a Catholic boys' school, and he noticed that the Roman Catholic priest had a swastika in his heraldry. And if you want, I can pull up exactly the name of that Catholic priest.
Oh, yes, please do. There's so many more questions, but the Coachella symbol of that they use is this Ferris wheel, and it looks just like a 32-spoke sun symbol, which is the rose compass as well, and with the Freemasonic Templar this thing on it.
The sacred palm tree. The sacred palm tree.
Yeah, so like Coachella, and it's just all this leftist damn ideology with Biden, and then they move the
sunburst. They are sun worshipers. The squiggly is the female, and the straight is the male. IHS, Isis Horus Serapis, not Isis Horus Set. Set was the evil uncle. Isis Horus Serapis. Serapis is the amalgamation of Osiris and Apollo. It is the Gnostic Luciferian Trinity that the Jesuits actually worship.
Wow.
By the way, the name of the what was his the title? It was Father Theodorich Hagen. Theodorich Hagen, Hagen, at the boys' school of Lombok, where Hitler saw the swastika.
Whoops, sorry.
Hitler saw the swastika, and when he was at a Roman Catholic boys' school at Lombok, in the heraldry of the proprietor there, Father Theodorich Hagen. Everything traces back. I told you, right, that it was Bernard Stompel, Jesuit, collared Jesuit Bernard Stompel, that ghost wrote the anti-Semitic Mein Kampf, my struggle against the Jews and the bankers, my struggle. It was a Jesuit. It was a viciously anti-Semitic Jesuit that ghost wrote Mein Kampf for Adolf Hitler. So
Mein Kampf was all about the aristocracy, and like the pogroms that happen. This is like Illuminati world elite. This is one of their moves that they do for a street level to hijack wealth and whatnot. So it's when seeing the big move of the phony right moving into a fascism, this power control. This is what they want, is this world communism. That's the goal. and there's different tastes of this. So
Brilliant.
National Socialist, how is that part of the right, being socialist?
What a brilliant question. What a brilliant statement. What a brilliant statement.
Well,
it's
not coming from me.
It's a conglomeration of big government and big business, and it psyops the people by convincing them it's patriotic to be a slave. That's
yeah. A lot of it comes from my research, from you, the Unslaved.
And what's critical to this, Alex, is scapegoating. You've got to scapegoat an enemy to convince the people that willful slavery is their patriotic duty. And that's why you can slander National Socialism and fascism as right-wing. It's not right-wing. In no way is it right-wing. The only thing that's right-wing about it is the psyop comes from convincing the people that being a willful participant, as opposed to raw tyranny from the hard communist left. The only difference is they're convinced to be willful slaves in the same far left tyranny and fascism, as opposed to, I don't care what you want, I'm going to crush you. And it's much more expensive to do state communism with coercive force alone. It's much easier. It's much less expensive to get a bunch of dupes to willfully become slaves by convincing them it's their patriotic duty to scapegoat Jews. And surprise, surprise, it's the same scapegoat, whether it's Germany, whether it's Russia, whether it's America. It's still the same scapegoat.
They've got thousands of years of propaganda for it to work. It works brilliantly. So why change something that doesn't work?
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate you calling the shit out for what it is. 2 questions that I just found fascinating that I kind of want to hear again, so I can kind of fit it in my brain, is the protocols and the Schofield Bible, how they. What I heard was they say this Jewish guy's writing stuff, but really it was not even a Jewish person writing it. Maybe it wasn't that exact thing. You said something and it blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm getting pull my notes up real quick.
I was into Jordan Maxwell. That was sort of my breakthrough when I was in high school, teenager. And he was saying all this stuff, he's all oh, the power lies at Rome, all roads lead to Rome.
This is the same guy that then turned around and said Jesus doesn't exist. So what they want is they want a guy what's his real name? It's not Jordan Maxwell. Anyway, they want a guy out there using fake names to give you have 2 choices. You always have 2 choices, Alex. And your choice is no Christ or antichrist, at least from the Christian perspective. He wanted to attack the historical Jesus, attack Jesus as the savior of Christians, or give you the papacy. This is the same guy that openly admitted that he had family members that worked in Rome, that worked as citizens in the papacy, Jordan Maxwell. So they get you with this Jesuitical mix of truth and psyop. By the way, it was a Roman Catholic priest named Augustine Barrowell who was responsible for the fraud that was the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. Another one is let's see here. Another one is Alphonse Louis Constant. Alphonse Louis Constant, a Jesuit, I believe he was a Jesuit priest, who masqueraded as Eliphas Levi, the guy that created the Baphomet.
Wow.
Alphonse Louis Constant, right? I want to say, look at the spin. Oh, he originally pursued an ecclesiastical career in Catholic Church and then walked away. No, he was a priest. He was a priest. And I want to say he was a Jesuit priest. The Roman Catholic priest and Freemason that created the Baphomet. And when he did, he pretended to be the Jew Eliphas Levi.
Oh, wow.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
That's
because
crazy.
They're baiting Jews. Rome baiting Jews again. Another great example that I bring up all the time is when the Jesuits handed Christians their heretical prophecy, where the heretical eschatology, where they removed Rome from. Go ahead. Check this.
No, my computer's.
You're froze. Yeah, froze there. How about the Jesuits? So futurism is the fraud, the heresy that Christians have no idea who the Antichrist is. That the Antichrist will just appear one day in the future, and he'll probably be like a Muslim or somebody, and he'll do a contract with modern Israel, and he'll break the contract halfway through, and then Jesus will come back. All of that is Jesuit heresy. It erases the book of Daniel. It erases the book of Revelation, because Daniel and Revelation, Daniel the beloved, John the beloved, they hand you Jesus of Nazareth as a Christ, and then they follow up with Rome as the Antichrist. Who was it? It was a Jesuit priest, Manuel de Lacunza, and when he wrote The Coming of Messiah in Glory and Majesty with this ridiculous idea of futurism, he was pretending to be a Jew. Rabbi Juan Yehoshaphat ben Ezra. Now, why would a Jesuit pretend to be a Jew as he's promoting heresy to Christians? Once again, Jew baiting. If you pull down the mask of the curls and the hat and there's a Jesuit behind it, is that not a sign that you need to look a little deeper?
Well, everybody got to look deeper, got to go click the links below, go subscribe, go to Johnny's podcast. I got those down below. I am addicted to them. There is some vulgar language.
Right. So let me say that. Let me give my love you. Let me. So when I am in an interview with wonderful people like Alex, like my donut over here, I am on my best behavior. I do understand discipline and self-control, verbal discipline. When I go full Italian when I'm on my own, or when I'm with my team, when I'm with my friends, I go full Italian on my podcast to vet, because if I don't vent to vent my anger, because we're talking about mass torture, murder, trafficking, wars, unbelievable crime that goes unpunished. So I go full Italian on that. If I don't, I have this vein in the middle of the forehead. It's going to pop open. It's going to blood all the computer. Rather than do that, I use some adult language. I ask for forgiveness. And listen, honestly, if it's too much for you, maybe the truth is too much for you. Because if you're not tough enough to handle the truth, to handle a little bit of coarse language, I never take the Lord's name in vain, but I will occasionally throw out a couple of expletives.
I was not saying it as like it was a bad thing.
It's a good warning. No, it's a good caveat. It's a good caveat. There's some warm-hearted people out there. I don't want them to be blasted.
Just to prepare them. But
be prepared.
I love it.
Right.
Also, I love the music. Have you always been into like it's
all my life? All my life, I've been from hard rock to house to electronica. All my life, I've been into all that stuff to just keep my Italian blood flowing. Otherwise, I'm
very into music. I'm Jewish. Every Jewish person wishes they were Italian. So when I watch your show,
I hereby adopt you. I hereby adopt you, Alex.
Thank you. Adopt my dad too, because we both
happy to do it.
We always wanted to be Italian.
Happy to do it.
Well, thank you so much, Johnny.
Love you, brother.
Got anything to say before we close out? Where do you want?
No. Thank you, man. Johnny Cirucci, JOHNNY, CIRUCCI.com. You can reach me, Johnny, at JohnnyCirucci.com. 5 books still available on CI Amazon, because even though wonderful people like Alex and Mark and Danny Polachek are doing their best to give me coverage, I'm still not well enough known for them to take my books down. So you can go to Amazon and get my 5 books there. And I've got 5 hubs. I've got Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Brighteon, and UgTube, where I do my shows. I'm not allowed on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, I have a Telegram. Either Resistance Rising or Johnny Cirucci. You should be able to find me.
All right, everybody. Click that like button. Much love, and God bless you.